3 seasons in, and we're just getting started. You've heard the whispers. You've felt the shift. Now it's time to face the boss. Welcome to Season 3 of the Final Boss podcast, where every episode is a power move, every guest is a game changer, and every Tuesday, a tech takeover, and every Monday is motivational with special guest Thursdays, and sitting down with the Final Boss Sundays, hosted by Turbo the CEO, the architect of insight, the voice of the underground, and your guide through the glitch. Plug in, lock on. This is the Final Boss podcast. Season 3 starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Special Guest Thursdays. Tonight on Special Guest Thursdays, we have an amazing guest. Let me tell you, it is the Jhonny Rio, also known as my brosen. And he's here tonight, and we're going to be discussing all types of things. Tonight's episode number 107 is how to deal. And you're asking how to deal? We're going to tell you exactly what we're going to be talking about on how to deal. So before we get into it, again, welcome to the show. Wherever you are around the world tuning in, we appreciate you. And as always, this is our greeting of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And again, thank you again for joining us. Please continue. You know what? I have some admin notes I want to give out. Please continue to send us your DM messages, your emails, whatever way and whatever form you're using to get in contact with us, letting us know if you're enjoying the show and letting us know exactly what stands out to you. If you have questions, if you want to be on the show, just let us know at info@TheFinalBosspodcast.com. Again, the email is info@TheFinalBosspodcast.com, all one word. And you know what, man? This is going to be a great and amazing show. Look, I've been waiting to get Brosen. He's so busy. Listen, he's a global citizen. Look, the accolades could go on for days, but this part right here is my dear heart. He's my brosen. And look, we are going to get into it tonight on the Final Boss podcast. You know what? We're going to start with our brass tacks. Our brass tacks for tonight. Our brass tacks for tonight is live and work, but do not forget to play. To have fun in life and really enjoy it. That's our brass tacks for tonight. There's no author, so we're going to say it's anonymous. And, man, how you feeling?
I'm blessed, brother. Brosen, cousin, primo, mi hermano. I feel fantastic. 107 episodes. Is that what?
Yeah, 107, man.
Season 3. Episode. Let me just take a second and just clap that up because that is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's called beyond building habits, right? So you beyond exceeded, what a lot of people would even think about doing. So congratulations, and I know the journey's just begun, but let's celebrate that moment as well.
Oh, man, thank you so much, cuz I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I did a statistic on that, man, and the statistics say when it comes to podcasting, anyone that makes it past episode 10, you're part of the 1%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it gets even smaller after you reach 100. And then the pinnacle is like episode number 200. Oh, man, okay. You're out of here. Yeah.
Get some milestones done. Okay. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. So, a little bit of background. We had you on for season 1.
Yes.
Right. We had you on season 1 at the very beginning.
I know.
We didn't have the software set up. We didn't have it was incomplete. But you know what? Thank you for coming on, man. And through the issues and the technical problems we were experiencing. We got it through, and it's still out there. So if you guys want to go check out that episode, it's still out there. So episode it's in the beginning. So it's like in the teens or something like that. But it's in the first season, and you can find that on our YouTube channel. To my warriors, to my motivators, to my smarts, to my final bosses. Tonight, we're not just going to be talking about winning. We're going to be talking about how to manufacture champions on a whole different level. Now, I have the motivation show on Mondays, and on Sitting Down with the Final Boss Sundays, I dibble and dabble on leadership and things of that nature. But tonight is special. Tonight, with the brosin, that's right. If you're not familiar with that term, I created it, I think.
That's right.
Your brother, cousin. He's my day one. He's the ride or die. He's Jhonny Rio, and he's in the house. Let's give him a clap again. Oh, man, I love this dude.
I appreciate you.
He's been with me through thick and thin, through the trenches, through victories, and yes, through some questionable, fashionable choices.
That's called life.
Hey, listen, should we tell them about some thrift shop and our man of the hour, Sergeant Rockhead?
Sergeant Rockhead, man. Look, salute to Sergeant Rockhead, man. That was part of that was part of the childhood upbringing, and gentlemen being of a certain age, beyond 50, to still think back on those moments of childhood, man, where we literally were commuting as little kids with our parents, to go to work. And for some reason, some thrift shop and Sergeant Rockhead just brought us that joy, man. I'm thankful to at least be here to even have those kind of thoughts and still have that same laughter with you that we had when we were freaking
dude,
grade school. Yeah.
You know what? I spoke about this, man, on my last episode on when I discussed being happy and staying happy.
Yeah.
And having things in your toolbox where you could pull out in those moments that you are facing challenges, where life has got you down, you can go into that toolbox and you can find some joy. That's one of those moments, man, where I can sit back and be like, damn. Then I start thinking about us and traveling up and down Pennsylvania Avenue and seeing the sub-thrift shop. And then we start talking about Sergeant Rockhead. And look, and then and then I start thinking about Ralph and Dan running around in the scrappy new underwear.
They're gonna kill it. Look, they're gonna kill us for this one.
Oh, yeah, they definitely good. Shout out to my brothers, man. E and Ralph, man. I love you guys, man. Listen.
Yes, sir.
Throw that out there. Oh, man, yeah, those moments of joy, man, are irreplaceable, and continue, even at this age, to bring happiness.
Absolutely. Yeah, very true.
And I have to put this out there too. I was famous for walking away with one of your polos, one or two. You had the greatest polo collection that I've ever seen back then. And how you say, oh man, thanks, cuz you're not gonna miss this one.
Look, I appreciate that after 40 some years. Or
right.
My sisters also, shout out to them.
Right.
They also confessed to raiding my closet, going shopping, when I was away. Me thinking somebody random was stealing my stuff. They were like, oh no, we just went shopping and enjoyed all the stuff. So at least somebody had some enjoyment from the stuff. So
hey, man,
all is forgiven, all is well.
Look, man, it brought me great joy to the point where I would build outfits around the shirt I got from you. Whole outfits.
Maybe this should be the final confessions. I don't know.
I know. Man, it was better than going to Marshall's. Let me tell you.
Good times. It's all good. It's all good.
Look, with that same energy, man. Give me 2 seconds. I need to. It's not going to be on there. Okay. With that same energy, you've been building and working with numerous of corporate organizations, helping them build multi-million-dollar empires. And this is what entrepreneurship is all about, man.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than I, it's bigger than you, it's bigger than us. It's the broader picture. And it doesn't matter when we look back at those moments we were discussing and how that feel. Those moments of happiness are transformed into other moments of happiness when we're able to build and help others, building corporations, assisting corporate and ourselves as entrepreneurs build. And that level of joy and happiness, man, it's like a fire that burns in our chest, in our belly, man.
Yeah.
And the vision in mind. We've been building for such a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. It never goes away. It's either in you or it's not. You know, that's the way I look at it. From a perspective of being in the right table, in the right room, and being able to add value. That's always been, you know, an earmark, I think, of pride to demonstrate that those types of skill sets are wanted and needed, right? And then the reverse side is they actually want to compensate you for those things that you bring to the table. That being said, love the big guys, but I really, really, really love the little guys.
Absolutely.
Being an agent of change and looking at that small entrepreneur that may have birthed an idea but doesn't know what are the next steps. I love being able to go in there and, you know, quite frankly, if I sit down and talk to someone about building a business or a business plan, and you and I have even had this exercise, you can be a firsthand testimony, is I want to talk you out of it because I want to tell people you got to be almost crazy to start a business, right?
Absolutely.
That hasn't been done or may have been done by many others, and to carve your niche, you know, create that lane, you know, and in that space. And so if you can get past those certain tests, man, and have that fortitude and gumption, it's really about attitude, man, and how you approach it. If you are ready for the pitfalls, the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster, but all the same while being thankful in that process, I'd be ready for it. So, love the bigger companies.
Right.
Absolutely. Enjoy them, and they are necessary, but the little guy is just as, to me, in my opinion, is more valuable.
Absolutely.
That's really the heartbeat of what we stand for.
Yep. Absolutely. And, you know, in your statement, man, you made two profound statements I'd like to bring up, right? And the first was, yes, how you've been assisting me. And as a matter of fact, for the my IT government contracting company, which is Saturn Digital Networks Development Corporation, the Brosen. How does this sound, Mr. Vice President of Operations? How does that sound? That has a nice ring to it. What do you look? Let me go ahead. Woo!
Listen, and again, that's just, there's so many different things that we've worked on. Especially behind the scenes that people aren't aware of.
Yeah.
We don't have to have our name attached to all those things for the glory. I mean, the reality is we lean on each other for different skill sets,
right?
Different functions that we all bring to the table. So I'm honored and proud to be a part of the Saturn Digital Network in the vice president capacity, because we got some good work and projects coming. So
absolutely. Cuz thanks, man. Look, I'm glad to have you. And you know, we've been doing this our whole life, man. We've been doing this our whole life in so many different capacities, even as children. Even as children. What was the Green Machine? Oh, man.
Listen, if you weren't born, if you didn't have the 70s, 80s childhood, Big Wheels and Green Machine.
Oh, man.
Man, you were missing out. Listen, I love all the automated toys now, and what is the Roblox and the video games. We have some video games, obviously not as technologically advanced, but man, it was nothing like being on a freaking Green Machine or that Big Wheel, boy.
Oh man, what you talking about, man? Green Machine ruled the neighborhood. If you had the Green Machine, you was king.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
had one, but I think I found it. Sorry about that.
You said what?
I said I think I found one, but I still wrote it.
Oh man, I didn't know that. That's cool. You mentioned tests, right? And as you mentioned tests, I want to ask you, as an entrepreneur and dealing with three things that destroy entrepreneurs and their entrepreneur spirit, right? Because what you mentioned about being an entrepreneur and business owner, it's the hardest thing. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, it is the epitome of having faith.
Yeah.
You are dropping everything to build something from nothing and putting the faith and determination into it to turn it into something tangible and something that people can benefit from. That's faith, man.
Yeah.
That's faith. So, number one, how to and we're going to be talking about travel too.
Okay.
So, number one is how to dominate travel in this crazy post-pandemic world. That's number one. Number two, how to demolish gatekeepers who tried to block your path, because they're out there, the naysayers. Yeah. And number three, how to stay peaceful and composed when everything seems to be falling apart.
Absolutely. So which one do we want first? Do we just dive in?
No, man. Yeah, just dive in.
Ooh, okay. I think I want to.
And you can lump them all together. Yeah.
No, give me a quick one. I'll jump into it.
Okay.
I'll jump into it. I want you to give me one, because I can start all three.
Okay. Well, you start all three, and then I'll piggyback off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So travel, how to dominate travel in this crazy, chaotic environment. The biggest thing, and we are going to talk about the fun pieces of it. This is, as a person that has traveled a few places, my backdrop actually here is an homage to Cape Town, South Africa, Robben Island. That's where Mandela was jailed. He was also jailed in Johannesburg, in Constitution Hill.
Okay.
But we had the opportunity to go and take a tour of this actual island that is off the coast of Cape Town. So anyway, we'll talk more about that. But when you are traveling, and I'm speaking to my lovely Americans, right? So in the context of us in this great country, we have to be way more vigilant these days in terms of how we move and how we operate. Yes, the U.S. passport is wonderful. It has afforded us an incredible amount of opportunities. But with this geopolitical climate, we just have to be way more vigilant how we move. Go have a fantastic time, right? So if there are places that you want to go visit, have an incredible time, enjoy yourself. I will say we just need to be way more aware that the world is bigger than just our borders. What I mean by that is there's been numerous articles of people entering our borders illegally and that kind of stuff, or doing certain things that are against our customs and laws. Well, guess what? Each and every country around the globe has their own sovereign rights, laws, and customs. And so when you are traveling, one of the main things you have to do is really understand, the safety, the customs, the laws of what's going on in that particular country. Just because we can take a drink and walk down Bourbon Street or Las Vegas, where I live, in certain areas, doesn't mean you can do that, or it's a lawless society where you can do anything you want to do in these other countries. In fact, a lot of these countries now are trying to catch you doing things that are wrong.
Right.
I'll actually lean back to an experience that you and I had, and I unfortunately normalized it a lot of times when I first started traveling to South America.
Okay.
And you would get pulled over by the policia.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's some minor infraction. They won't let you go. They're going to tell you that, no, we have to go to the jail. You have to pay this fine right now in cash, or we have to take you to the jail and process you. Right. And so the reality is these people are struggling.
Yeah.
There are levels of corruption that are out there. So you got to be aware of that. But the main thing is we don't want to give them any ammunition to target us. And
Absolutely.
we did nothing. I'm speaking specifically of when we were in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And I remember
right.
I pulled over probably 3 times in a 5 or 6 day trip. And we aren't breaking any laws, wrong turns, any of that kind of stuff, but they kept pulling us over for very minute infractions. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, they still just wanted a few pesos to go on about their business.
Yeah.
You know, we would give you the shirt off our backs if you asked the right way. I just don't want to be strong armed, and I don't care what the amount of money is. I want to be left alone. So you just have to be conscious about how you move around. The reason why we got pulled over in hindsight was there weren't a lot of people driving around with all these stickers for rental car.
Yeah.
So they knew that the local, I'm telling you, they knew that the locals weren't typically renting a car, riding all around Zona Colonial and all throughout Santo Domingo. Mm-hmm. And so they target people. Doesn't matter if you share, this same skin tone or any of that stuff. You are a foreigner to them. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. But the reality is they are trying to make it through the next day. So again, how do you process those things? Do you take it personal? Do you get into a combative argument where they're calling more reinforcements? It's not necessary. It's all about survival and going on to the next situation. Absolutely. Right. So you don't have to escalate so much. We do have our rights, but our rights are different in these other countries. Should they be the same? Absolutely. That's a different topic for a different day. But as travelers, we have to make sure that we are on foreign soil, foreign territory, and we have to understand what those rules of engagement are. So again, go have a great time, enjoy all the festivities, but you have to be cognizant of where you are.
Absolutely. Yep.
May I share another story?
Absolutely. Go ahead. It's your time.
There was a young lady, this was many years ago, and I won't name names, but I'll just kind of name scenarios. In Aruba, hanging out, and there was a group of young Americans that tried to sneak into a club. Okay. And so one of them was familiar with my daughter. We were on, a little vacation, and there was a situation where they had tried to sneak in.
Okay.
To the venue. That's a no-no, right? Because at the end of the day, you can be younger in these countries. I think that's probably 18 or up in this particular country, but having no ID is a no-no, right? So they don't want you in their venues because it's a liability, the same way it's a liability in the U.S. Mm-hmm. With these young American visitors decided that they were going to sneak in. Although they weren't let in, some of them snuck in, and they decided to hop over a little fence.
Right.
The younger us, we probably would have did the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Where I had a problem was they decided to stand on top of the bar.
Oh,
okay.
That bar.
Not only did they sneak back in, now they basically did a middle finger to the staff that didn't take too kind to it. And so what proceeded next, man, was almost a violent exchange of grabbing these young women, almost tossing them to the street, right? So wow. I was familiar, not saying that these guys at the discotheque knew me, but they were familiar with me. So I kind of jumped up and just said, hey guys, not be gentle, but don't be so rough with these young ladies. They're,
de-escalate the situation.
De-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
And while I'm trying to do this to help the situation, which I had no dog in the fight, one of the young ladies basically told me that she knew what she was doing, and in so many words, to mind my business.
Oh.
No problem. Since you know so much, not my problem. I went and sat down and I proceeded to mind my business. Was I concerned? Absolutely. But when people don't want to listen, there's only so much you can do to help them. Even in that moment, I still explained to them. I said, listen, what you can try to do and get away with in your hometown, wherever you're from, that's not going to fly in this other country. And the consequences was they were calling the cops. And I actually asked them not to. I said, listen, just don't let them back in. And I explained to the rest of the group that was actually willing to listen. I said, you guys are in a foreign country. You must have ID with you at all times so that you don't face the issue. So again, one bad apple potentially was going to ruin that particular crop. But I did what I could, but I witnessed the arrogance of a foreign traveler not respecting a basic law just because they just didn't feel like it. So again, even when you're trying to help others out, sometimes that can be a bad situation as well. So again, try to do as much as you can to de-escalate, diffuse. But if people don't want your help, it's only so much you can do.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And thank you for that, man. You know what? Speaking of travel, we've traveled to many places together. And today I was just in a mood, man. I found an old picture when I was in PR at an island. Shout out to Puerto Rico and shout out Culebra, man. Culebra Island. Oh, bro.
Yeah.
So breathtaking, untouched. You talking about God's fingerprint, man. And it's listed in the top 10 of most beautiful places on this planet. So,
oh wow, okay,
yeah, it's definitely one of God's fingerprints, man. It's like a hidden gem, and it's not commercialized. Oh man, it's such a beautiful beach, man. The water is just turquoise. And, oh, dude, oh man, I love that place. But we were talking earlier. To my final bosses, to my smarts, to my motivators and warriors. Listen up, guys. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I'm being spiritually and mentally led to a place that I've never been. And it's in Brazil. It's the second largest Africana population. I think Africana is the correct word, outside of Nigeria. Population wise, and you said you've been there before, man. I have to go here, bro. I got to go there.
Yeah, so you're talking about the beautiful Salvador, which is the capital of Bahia in northeast Brazil.
All right,
and yeah, no, it's so interesting because we say randomly, but there are no random things, right? We were just talking like we normally do, conversation just going and going and going, and then all of a sudden you're talking about, man, you've got to go to this place called Salvador. And I'm just like, dude, I've been there.
I know, that was crazy. That was great, man. I can't tell you. I think about this place every single day. Hold on, I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, no. So wonderful place to go. I had the opportunity to go for Carnival. Okay. And that was on the bucket list. Of course, Rio Carnival is internationally known. We ended up hanging out in Rio at the end of Carnival that particular year. I think it was 2014. But we wanted to go and experience the more local experience within Brazil, which was going to Salvador. And I'll tell you, man, it was interesting to travel there because we actually had to, I believe we flew to Rio and then had to fly Rio south of Salvador, but we had to fly south and then go back north on a local airline. Anyway, beautiful experience, but it was just magical. Carnival by far, if you haven't done it, it's a no-brainer to do. I've had the benefit and the exposure to do a caravana in Toronto, which Toronto is my favorite city in North America, by the way, still to this day.
All right.
Various islands in the Caribbean. But my bucket list was hitting Brazil for Carnival, and it did not disappoint. You were even asking about just some of the vibes down there, and I will tell you that Salvador is a very bohemian, eclectic vibe. And what I mean by that, we would walk, they had these cobblestone, like old towns called the Pelourinho. So you walk into Pelourinho, and we would see these bohemian, eclectic people from all walks of life. I mean, some people literally backpacking or bicycling or taking a motorcycle from Seattle, Washington, right? And they had literally been on this hike or trek for the last 3 months. And I'd say, hey, how long are you staying here? Oh, we'll stay here more or less for another week or two or a month or two. We haven't decided. These people were enjoying the energy. They were drawn to these various places. Salvador was for Carnival for sure. But I met so many different people from different walks of life there. I mean, it blew my mind. And some of the people, they stayed in the hostels and all that kind of stuff. We weren't that adventurous, you know, as far as accommodations, but people were just down there figuring it out, man. They were doing barter and trade system. So some people were just artists. They would go and create paintings and sell them for money to eat or go out and drink or party and that kind of stuff, or for a place to stay for a few days. It was really amazing because we don't think about it in that context. Like, man, I'm down in a foreign country. Let me just go and take something and barter and trade for it. But there were just a ton of people down there with all types of arts and crafts that were not only surviving, but they were thriving. They weren't missing the meal. They weren't lacking any type of joy. They were present in the moment. They didn't have a deadline in terms of when they were going to get back. Again, a lot of it resonated with me, regardless of, you know, the type of accommodations they had. It just resonated that they were brave enough and bold enough to just be out in the world, and whatever it was going to offer, they were fully receiving it. There was also a young lady who left an indelible mark. She was traveling by herself at the time. She was 20 years old.
Wow.
And I saw her from a distance. She had on a tank top.
Okay.
And I remember seeing this beautiful map of the world across her shoulder blades.
Okay.
And so I literally just walked up to her and I said, I have to know you. And she's like, I said, where are you from? And I believe she was either from she was definitely from Europe. I want to say the Netherlands.
Okay.
But I was just intrigued by this young lady, and I said, you have to tell me what your story is. And she's like, well, I've been here I told my parents I basically had to go on a sabbatical.
Okay.
A year. She didn't want to go to school immediately. She wanted to go and explore the world.
Right.
And so my fascination with her was two things. You know, she had this amazing globe tattoo on her back, and then she was traveling by herself for like the last year as a 20-year-old.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
She's figuring it out. I mean,
dude, that's incredible.
Yeah. Her name is Maya. I don't know where in the world she is these days, but I need to look her up. But I'm gonna tell you, and she knew. I used to check on her. She had gone, I believe, to Israel after that. She had gone to Wisconsin, of all places. I think she had some relatives or such in Wisconsin, and she ended up back in Europe at some point. It might be Sweden, but anyway, she ended up back in Europe at some point. I haven't seen much of her in many years, but the impact of what she did was she was bold enough as a young person, as a young woman, right, in all these dangerous places they tell you to don't go. She said, you know, she was drawn to go and be out in the world, and she was bold enough and strong enough to go and do that. And so it really inspired me.
Man, that's definitely inspiring.
Yeah. On top of that, the symbolism for that tattoo, it wasn't about the tattoo. I mean, it was impressive, don't get me wrong. But this young lady, in my mind, she was willing to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders and go out there and do something different. So
Absolutely.
that hands down was one of the most impactful things that I had experienced in Salvador and just in general in traveling the world.
Man, what a great story. Hey, hold on. Shout out to Mia, and wherever you are, you see this, you recognize this gentleman, the Rio, Mr. Brosen.
Yes, sir.
Listen, shout out to you.
I'm going to track her down.
Yeah.
If she's still online, I'm going to track her down. Matter of fact, I'll track her down and see what she's up to and bring her on the Final Boss.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
Yes,
that
sir.
would be crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
young lady.
Let's pivot. Oh man, that was a great story, cuz. And again, shout out to Mia. We're gonna find you, Mia. We're going to find you. But so, you know, let's pivot for a second, man.
Okay.
Let's talk about let's get into some core business talk.
Okay.
Rio, you've been fighting the entrepreneurial war since 2002, right?
Yeah.
What makes this moment and this conversation different from every other business interview that you've witnessed or seen or heard?
You know, number one, it's been a long journey.
I know,
but it's a journey that I've chosen, right?
Right.
And it's just something I've always been drawn to. What do you say, like moth to the flame? So business these days, I think is changing, just like life, just like everything else, right? The climate of what we were able to do yesterday, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago is different, and you've got to adapt and adjust to whatever that particular environment is. Fundamentally, I believe business stays the same if you are true to your, core principles, right? Those things don't change. It's all about what you believe in. Are you trying to serve others? Are you trying to solve problems, add value? The list goes on. The transactional, I want it now aspect of just the world in general that we live in. I call it the easy button kind of model, right? It's a great commercial. You press the easy button and somebody comes out and solves whatever, computer problems or whatever type of problems you have. Well, the reality is a lot of people think that they can go and press this button and these problems are going to magically go away. No, you've got to roll up your sleeves.
Yeah.
Get back to problem solving, right?
Yep.
Use this thing that God gave us. These computers, technology are wonderful. They are amazing tools, but they are not going to do the work for you.
Right.
They can help you along the way in that process, but you fundamentally have to come up with a strategic way to tackle these problems to solve it. Absolutely. That to me is still a fundamental thing. I love technology, seeing the pervasiveness of it over the last probably 15 years that I've been in kind of enterprise tech space. It's amazing, to see the forefront of what we are able to do as mankind, right, in society.
Yeah.
And the velocity at which we're moving is just insane.
It's incredible.
We're having a streaming, conversation right now where I remember having a little USB to connect to my laptop for Vonage so I could talk, back in the US. That changed my life and allowed me to travel probably back in 2007, 2008. And I thought that was the cutting edge. And that thing was on a choppy public Wi-Fi service. And I just didn't want people to know that I was out of the country, that I could speak. Okay.
Right.
We can have Wi-Fi calling, VPN service, and you can be anywhere in the world, damn near, and still be able to connect and get things done. Man, absolutely. We are living in an incredible time, right? Yeah. And so, yes, we can sit there and think about all the bad things as far as business, and I don't want to talk about tariffs and all these other crazy things that are going on, but we have the ability now with technology to dictate a lot of what the outcomes can be. And so I am excited and elated about business and the opportunities for the quote unquote average person, man, to rise up. It's all about birthing these ideas. It's all about executing on these ideas. It's all about listening to the feedback on these ideas, tweaking where you need to go, then wash, rinse, and repeat. Sometimes you don't have to make it so complicated. Some people really love to hear themselves talk, although we're doing a podcast, no pun intended, love it. There's an educational aspect of it. So as much as we enjoy talking about ourselves and all the glory, we also love to listen and learn, because learning never, ever stop.
No, this is a learning platform, man. I say, listen, let's get educated. This is what this is about. Because, and in my opinion, man, I've been building a community, and I tell the community all the time, the community is the smarts, the final bosses, the motivators, and now recently added the warriors. We're all in this community, and we're all on this journey together. Yeah. I don't have all the answers, but we can come together as a community and figure it out. And thank you for the verbiage you just provided for us on core business. And I tell people all the time, we talk about, I say, you know what, let's talk about your stats, and the audience needs to know who they're learning from. But here's the thing, right? People don't know that humans need three things for them to be able to transition and learn from someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those three things are ethos, pathos, and logos. Those provide the credibility. And you have credibility, right? And you mentioned in the beginning that, man, I'm on episode number 107. There's definitely a lot of credibility in that. Absolutely. So I know you've been involved with a lot of different things, man. But tell us about RIO3 Consulting, HarleeQs and HarleeQs, I'm sorry, global operations. Break that down for us.
Well, RIO3, which is Rio to the third power.
Okay.
Right.
Cube.
Yeah, Rio Cube. The Rio to the third power consulting is my brainchild, and our motto is consulting intelligently. The reality is you want smart people to help you figure things out. And so from our perspective, working with Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies, small businesses, nonprofits alike, there are a lot of common things that people deserve, but may not necessarily think they can budget for, right? And so we wanted to be able to offer white glove, high level consulting skill sets to, I don't want to say anyone, but those that are willing to take on that type of expertise.
Right.
So, RIO3 Consulting happened after I got back into tech, was doing some software and, hardware selling and that kind of stuff. But it was always, my goal was to get back to just doing my thing.
Okay.
And I believe that things don't have to be so complicated, right?
Right.
So you can look at it through a different lens and different perspective and come up with fresh ideas or different ways to view these problems. That's where the consulting aspects come from, to help other organizations that are stagnant, stuck, and don't know what the next steps may or may not be.
Okay.
As far as HarleeQ, another business started out here in Vegas, service-based. We have been in the hookah nightlife entertainment for the last 6 years, roughly. We have took a step back. We've reinvented kind of what that model is going to be. We are focused more on enablement and serving in the hospitality industry through some creative offerings. I'm working on the trademark, so I don't want to speak too far to it. But
right.
We are focused on supporting other venues to help them expand their revenue, expand their creativity, expand their offerings so that they can be much more successful, whether it's from a marketing perspective, a new service offering, those type of things. And from our perspective, I've always had a global view. I've been a world for a long time. And so I am awake all around the clock. If I need to be on a call at 2 a.m. speaking to some partners in China or Japan, I'm willing to do that. If I'm talking to some folks that I've met in South Africa or over in Zanzibar, right, or Ethiopia or Italy, doesn't matter. If there is a time zone that I need to accommodate for my clients, I do that. I've always done that for many years. And so the global aspect of it, the world is shrinking because we have faster access to information, and exposure to one another's cultures. Yes, we consume a lot of entertainment and those type of things, but the reality is the world is getting smarter just because we have more access to information and people are understanding that this is a global competition. There's some slogans out here, and I won't give any energy to, kind of what the U.S. is pushing from a, us first type of perspective.
Right.
We're entitled to that, but that's a 40 or 50 year ago mindset. The reality is, if I can hire the best talent across the globe, I'm going to do it. If I can do it in a very compliant way, in an easy way to pay my people across all kinds of geographical boundaries, then I'm not going to wait around for people to say, hey, I don't know if I can, do this job. Do you have a laptop? Do you have a high-speed connection and a reliable phone? And we can use WhatsApp.
Right.
We can get you guys on board it, and let's get a project done. In fact, we're almost doing a disservice because the world is full of beautiful, bright minds.
Yeah.
And we've only been exposed to a certain segment.
Right.
We have an incredible population of people in the US. What is it? 330, 350 million people?
Yeah, 330 something.
What's the total population of the world? 7-8 billion?
Yeah.
We've got a lot of other people that we can tap into for talent.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%, man. 100%.
So from that perspective, just having a global view, and I've always been, and they can write this one down, a xenophile. So a xenophile embraces other people and cultures, right? A xenophobe is afraid of those things. I'm not afraid of it. I embrace it. So a xenophile really embraces other people from other places.
Right.
You want to have that inner xenophile. You want to be curious about other cultures. But guess what? Just beyond having a good drink on the beach and hanging out, there may be some business opportunities that you can actually talk to these people about. So we're working on some other projects. Like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but we are actively looking at other projects around the globe, and we're excited to build these partnerships and networks.
And, I'm glad you said that, man, because SatDigiNet, Saturn Digital Networks Development Corporation, only wants the smartest and the brightest minds from all over the world. Man, you go to these other tech companies and campuses, that's what you see, man. You see diversity. You see diversity on these tech campuses, and it's a hidden secret that nobody's talking about. They have the greatest minds around the world on these tech campuses, the Googles, the Apples, and so forth and so on, man. The Plantiers, the Palantirs, I'm sorry. Man, it's so many. It's just so many. As you were just talking, I was just thinking, I was like, man, Brosen has a lot of titles. The mayor of Vegas. Businesses and entrepreneurs, they call you the hired gun. Man, tell me about that, man. What does that really mean? Before you know what? Before you say that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I remember a time when we would just watch movies together, and it was a movie, man, that we were watching. We got really inspired, and these dudes, they I can't remember the name of them. I think War Dogs.
War Dogs,
or it was the two guys. They were best friends, and one started a government contracting company, and they were selling guns all over the world. And we was like, "Yo, let's get this bread."
Listen, if you know, don't get me wrong. What
was the name of the movie? I don't remember. What's it called?
I think it was War Dogs. We have to look it up
real quick. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, so looking at something like War Dogs and or Wolf of Wall Street, just kind of movies. Don't get me wrong. Don't do illegal stuff for the record.
Right. Yep, it was called War Dogs. Yeah.
Don't do illegal stuff, but you need to learn from the principles that these guys were able to pull off. These guys built an incredible network in some very, very dangerous places with not a lot of experience.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I remember about that movie, or just in general, is, and this is just a business principle. Get the deal signed first.
Get the deal.
I used to believe, man, we aren't ready. We don't have the capabilities. We don't have the resources. We don't have this. We don't have that. One of the things I learned from a gentleman that I used to work for was the most difficult thing to do in business is get a signed agreement to move forward. Hiring the talent and pulling in the capabilities and resources to do the delivery. Again, don't overcommit on things if you don't know how to pull those moving parts together. I'm not saying do that, but the hardest part is to get the deal done, signed. The delivery piece, there's, again, a tremendous amount of talent that's out here in the world that wants to work. And you can find those people, but the hardest part is getting the deal. Those guys were getting $50, $100 million contracts and then figuring it out. Yep. When deal or option A fell through, they went to option B. When option B fell through, C. These guys were down to the TUV, whatever. we're figuring stuff out, going to these foreign countries and driving across countries. Again, don't do anything illegal. I can't stress that.
Right.
But do think outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Do think outside of the box.
Absolutely.
So, we need a little pause for that. Just let it resonate.
Let that resonate, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Let that resonate. That is the brosin. That is the brosin. Look, what's your go-to technique when you feel yourself losing composure in real time? What's your go-to?
God. What I mean by that is if you are doing your work spiritually, and don't get me wrong, the days that I slip up for sure, but I thank God as many times as I can. And when I forget to, I apologize and thank him extra. Right.
Okay.
But I pray to God to give me peace and balance. Right. Because things more often than not won't go your way. The one of the craziest things that we all believe is that we are in control and that we have more of this proverbial thing called time, or absolute thing called time.
Yep.
Right. I believe that things will happen when they're supposed to. And if they don't, there's a lesson to be learned from it not happening because we wanted to. Am I disappointed? Absolutely, just like anyone else. But I'm not going to let it defeat me or deter me from the ultimate goal. Because if it didn't happen today, I'm going to get at it tomorrow, next week, next month, right? It's all about understanding that timing is everything, right? And so some projects won't happen. They may never happen. You put forth your effort and you leave it up to whatever the will is to be done. From a business perspective, you obviously have to stick, and especially if you got to keep the doors open and lights on, you still have to follow up and follow through. But
absolutely, one
of the most powerful things, and I may have talked about this when we had our first episode, was the power of no. The faster I can arrive at no, faster I can arrive at a no, or you can give me a no, then I can allocate my time towards something else that may be a potential. Correct. So I don't get too high on the highs, low on the lows. You got to stay balanced and just know that the next opportunity is going to come your way if you have that right mindset and you are really grounded and firm in your convictions. Because from my perspective, God told me, hey, I got you covered. If you lean on me and you understand that I'm in control and I told you to follow me, it's going to work out. I don't get too high on the highs or too low on the lows. I just, my biggest focus is to stay evenly yoked because I know the next opportunity is coming. Yeah. And it's hard, right? Because in that moment, you got the pressure of the world, the financial stuff. Listen, I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like anyone else. And those pressures do come, but you can't let it consume you because guess what? Your blood pressure goes up, you fall over, have a stroke. Those same problems will be there tomorrow for somebody else to deal with. So you better make sure you're taking the best care of yourself and staying balanced so you can enjoy when you get those wins.
Okay. Yeah. Man, that would be a great title for a book, man. The Power of No. And how you broke it down. Oh, dude, let me tell you. That got my bills in gears spinning. I know you mentioned it before because it was on the first episode, but now that you conveyed it again, man, I'm like, yo, that's a great premise. Speaking of which, and it's some profound statements. Speaking of which, give us a real world example where staying composed saved the deal.
Oh, okay. Which is a good deal. Again, some of these things I try to just be careful about, just in terms of what I'll give you a deal I'm working on right now.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The composure, I'm just talking at high level.
Right.
There's opportunities that are around us all the time, right? And so I'm in Vegas working with a pretty large casino.
Okay.
For one of these hookah programs. Again,
all right.
Different hat. And the conversation came about because of existing relationships and said, hey, we put the program together, whatever. So I've got a vendor that's got an incredible product. And, again, people say, oh, I like this product. I like that one, whatever. What I focus on is making a customized proposal to a specific client or partnership to satisfy all the needs.
Okay.
And what we came up with initially was, yes, we like this product. We want to move forward, but we've got to go through approvals with management, with the other team members, what have you. The short version is this has been about a 2-year engagement.
Okay.
Now, have I been talking to these guys for 2 years, weekly? No. Monthly? No. But there'd be times where we would kind of jump in. There'd be a lot of action, a lot of activity, and then it would be almost like getting ghosted.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, months later, hey, sorry about that. It looks like we've got some traction. Let's take another look at this opportunity. And so you get all excited. You rally the troops. You come up with some new presentations and demonstrations and all that kind of stuff. Meet in front of entire teams. And so I've done it enough where in the last 6 years or so, we had about 20 different venues throughout Vegas, right?
Okay.
Some on strip, most of them off strip, local to large casino corporations. And so when I've gotten to a certain point where they want to meet up with their teams, then I know that there's kind of a, let's get this paperwork done and get in motion. Even with this particular opportunity, we did that exercise in November, December of last year.
Okay.
We met up, we talked about meeting up. We met up in January, mapped out kind of the new launch into the spring, which is the busy season. And they were going to do these approvals. And in front of me, hey, we're making a, executive decision amongst our committee where we don't need anybody else to sign off. Let's get started in about a month. Sounds wonderful. Again, I'm excited, cautiously optimistic because, again, this ain't my first rodeo. Well, fast forward to the end of August, we still have not started this particular engagement.
Okay.
Am I disappointed? No. Did I still want to have it happen earlier? Absolutely. How I got to a point where I didn't let it consume me was, again, timing. If it's meant to be, it will happen at the right time. Well,
absolutely.
2 weeks ago, random text, hey, I'm so sorry it's taken so long. We want to move forward with this, with this program. Of course, the person in me says, man, okay, I'm so confused because we just missed the high season.
Right.
Rio, the high season of 2025 wasn't meant to be for this particular program. Looking backwards is not going to help what we need to do moving forward into next year. So what we're going to do is build out a nice pilot program moving forward. We're doing some vendor onboarding paperwork now. I don't care what happened or didn't happen for the last 2 years. I am thankful and grateful that I got that text 2 weeks ago and that we are moving forward with some paperwork for this new program that we're going to test out a little bit during the slow season, and come next season, high time, we'll be ready. We will perfect and tweak the program as it needs to be really, really ready for 2026. And I'm okay to it. God willing. God was giving us that, but that was something I never thought I'd say, man, I've been waiting around for 2 years for a particular opportunity to land.
Yeah.
I thought they just said, hey, 2 years ago, they just, oh, sorry, management changed, things changed externally. They had a new manager that said, hey, no, I'm open to looking at this program.
Okay.
Then you get into the corporate aspects of people having to sign off. They're busy with their other functions. And you, as bad as you might want it, you still have to kind of get fit into that queue that business has to, has to fit you in. At the end of the day, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation that wants to do business with us. And that's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
If it took 2 years, fantastic. We're happy to still get engaged. But I didn't lose any sleep over it. I chalked it up and I just put it out in the universe and said, if it's meant to be, it will be. If not, I'm going to keep it moving. And which I have. I didn't lose any sleep over the summer worrying about why we didn't, why it didn't happen. And I was pleasantly surprised. In fact, the feeling was even better because I wasn't even thinking about it when I got that text.
Gotcha.
And they've been hot and heavy, with let's get this paperwork done and that kind of stuff. In fact, I need to follow up by tomorrow to see where we're at with that. That'll be one of the other things we talk about as a follow-on once I can officially announce, the little partnership that we have.
Listen, that'd be perfect, man. I'm great to hear about it, and thank you for sharing that with us. Real quick, man, rapid fire, real quick.
Yes, sir.
3 words to describe your business philosophy.
3 words. Honesty.
Mm-hmm.
What are my 3? That's good. Honesty for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And delivery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Honesty, integrity, and delivery. Love it. Second question. And we're doing rapid fire real quick.
Okay.
What book can you give to entrepreneurs and that's a must read?
I'll give you just 2 real quick. I think when I first kind of got out into entrepreneurial spirit, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay.
Touched me. And then the 4-Hour Work Week.
Okay.
That changed my life. The 4-Hour Work Week. And then they've got the extended edition, probably second or third edition on the 4-Hour Work Week. Those, if you want to understand how to not just start a business, build a business, you need to build business systems, because ultimately the most important thing we have is time. The most precious thing we have is time.
Right.
And although I love business, I love being at the beach, I love being able to travel, I love being able to be with friends and family, living life.
Yeah.
Business should be and can be a vehicle or a series of vehicles that can support lifestyle.
Right.
From my perspective, building those businesses up, freeing up that time is the most important thing, because it also allows you to look at other ideas and that kind of stuff. You don't want to simply be working in the business all the time, because you could make a ton of money, but when do you ever have time to enjoy it?
Exactly. That's a great point. And lastly, you might have developed a new mantra, but I remember you had this mantra, man, from back in the day.
Okay.
And,
what is it?
It used to resonate with me all the time. And I would just think about it. And I was like, man, that's a great mantra to live by. Do you remember which one I'm talking about?
You know how many conversations we've had over the years?
I know. It went trust me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trust, like, and believe.
Yes, trust, like, and believe. Yep.
Yeah. So people will do business with people they trust, like, and believe.
Yeah.
Again, when you think about trying to win a new client, do business, it's about building that rapport. It's not about how great your product or service is. That actually is important, but people do business in general with people they like, trust, and believe. That's exactly what it was. And
like
then there was
me, trust me, do business with me.
Yeah. Like me, trust me, believe me, and then we'll do business.
Man.
If I don't like you, I don't trust you, and I don't believe you, why would I do business?
Why would you do business? Yeah.
But I remember one that you said that was profound, and I never forgot this.
I'm all ears. Tell me about it.
You said a few years ago, it just was just a random conversation, and maybe you use it often, I don't know. But you said, you know what? We were talking about building relationships, and you said, Rio, relationships is the new currency.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just went on, and I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that came from out of that conversation we were having.
But listen, relationships is a new currency. And so you either are pouring into it or taking away from it. And so that currency, that value changes, right?
Yeah.
I remember talking to Binky, shout out to my little Binky, my niece, and she didn't understand. She was probably 15 or 16 at this time. And this touches on, again, relationships as new currency. I told her that we were talking about different friendships and relationships and that kind of stuff. And I said, you need to treat every relationship like a bank account.
Yeah.
Right. And so with any bank account, before you make a deposit or take any money away, start at zero. Right. Yep. You set up that account. And I said, in order to make withdrawals, you must first make what? Deposits. Mm-hmm, so you need to be making deposits into those relationships, into those situations, so such that when you start to withdraw, you've already had an ebb and flow of those relationships. And then what I left her with, which really was a message for myself, was if someone ultimately just keeps withdrawing from that relationship, you have to do what? Close the account.
That. Wait, man. That right there.
As excited as I was to tell her, I had your reaction when I first said it. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, man, that just listen, let that marinate in your spine.
Absolutely. In order to make withdrawals, you must make deposits.
Yeah. Man. Well, cuz, I don't know how much time you have. We can continue. We can do this all night, but we've reached that mark.
Have we?
Man, we have.
we're gonna have to do a follow on. This
hey, man, we definitely can do a follow up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brosen, the Rio, Jhonny Rio, CEO of RIO3 Consulting, HarleeQs,
yes, sir,
hookahs and entertainment. Whew, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun, man. When you're having fun, time goes by fast, man. When you're having fun.
Listen, we just talked. We were speaking earlier for what, 30, 40 minutes before we even got on with this one.
Exactly. And I looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute. This content. We need to get off the line. I'm like, hold up, man. Let's stop this conversation because this is content right here, and we need to let the people in on it. But thank you for being back on, man. Let's look at each other's schedules and plan and put you down on the calendar for coming back. I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation. There's so much more that, man, we didn't even get into, man.
I know.
So much more that we didn't even get into in reference to business travel and the things that we said we was going to discuss. So I'm looking forward to having you back on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Thank you for joining us. To my final bosses, to my smarts, to my motivators, to my warriors. Guys, I hope you're taking great notes right now. And if you are, send me a picture of your notes. I had a viewer send me a picture of their notes the other night from some of the shows they've been watching, and they said, "Boss, I'm locked in. Boss, I'm locked in."
Absolutely,
and that's what I'm talking about, man. We're on this journey. I said this. We're on a journey together. We're in a community, and this is where we are. And we're all trying to get up to the fired up train. And the fired up train only accepts greatness and excellence, man. Bring your excellence, bring your greatness to the fired up train. The destination is success. And that's where we're headed. So with that being said, man, look, remember this. There's a heavy pain that comes with discipline. And there's an even heavier pain that comes with regret.
Amen.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That is our show. Always be balanced, always be equal, and always be smart. Till next time, this is Special Guest Thursdays. I am the Final Boss. Our special guest, Jhonny Rio. We are signing off. Until next time.
Ciao.
Enjoy. And I'll see you guys again on Sunday for sitting down with the Final Boss Sunday. See you then. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Smile high, baby.
Go Rams.
Oh, I love it.